Welcome back to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. Kenyans and the world at large continue to outpour their heartfelt condolences to the family and friends of Raila Amolo Odinga. But you all understand that Raila is a politician, and already politics has taken a center stage. There are political undertones, some of which are being spoken in very low tones that they would not want any to hear. Questions are being asked as to really what killed Raila. Of course, that happens whenever anyone dies, people would ask, and that is why we have autopsies being done everywhere. But the question of how Raila has survived several handshakes from Moi to Kibaki to Uhuru Kenyatta to Ruto, and then in Ruto's first term, Raila loses it, is being discussed in undertones. And there is going to be accusations and counter accusations, because this death spells doom to William Samoei Ruto. William had expected that they would work together with Raila. He had expected, because he was banking on Raila's age and what he had started in the Luo land, that would persuade the Luo nation, or rather Raila, to hand him over, to hand the supporters over to him. But there are several videos that are now coming up, and people are saying, did Gachagua warn Raila against working with William Ruto? Because there is a video going viral where Gachagua is telling William Ruto, huyu jamaa usimsonge karibu, except that people are asking, si wao aliyeye alimsongea karibu na walifanya kazi pamoja. But before we watch that, there is this one where Oburu Odinga is angrily and passionately warning William Ruto against any hidden plans to harm Raila Amolo Odinga. And it has been revived. Look at it.
Tell you, Ruto, that we are aware as a family and as Joluo and as Kenyan that you have very, very bad plans. You want to finish the life of Raila. And Ruto, we are warning you. We are warning you in broad daylight that if you attempt, Ruto, if you attempt, Ruto again, if you attempt the life of Raila, we are telling you that first of all, Kenya will not be the same again. And Ruto, you should also know that that will be the beginning of the end of your rule as a president of Kenya.
Whoever has done that has got some motives. And I believe whoever has done this wants to portray a picture like maybe, just maybe, someone knew Raila's death. And I know that is where they are headed. That's why I've told you that some of these are spoken in undertones. But in this channel, let us speak the truth. As things stand, we only know that Raila was sick, and at some point he was recuperating, and then all of a sudden he died. That's what we know. Any other speculation would not mean well to this country, neither would it mean well even to the family. One person who believes that even as we mourn Raila, we know him as a politician, but I told you that Ida Odinga is mourning a beloved husband, Winnie is mourning a beloved father, Oburu is mourning a beloved brother. So let us be very careful. But they are saying that sometimes in politics, be very careful of what you say. And there are people who believe, just to hit the nail on the head, that Ruto has something to do with Raila's death. The question is this: how would he benefit if he knows anything in Raila's death? Would he benefit if Raila was dead or if Raila was alive. Because Ruto had expected that they would work together with Raila so that by the end of 2026, maybe they would go together and they would tell the Luo nation that, you know, we have done this together and therefore I'm handing you over to William Ruto. So, in my very considered opinion, those who think that maybe Ruto had a hand in it, this is my opinion. I don't think so. Because the question when someone does is, you only have a hidden finger or you mastermind and orchestrate the death of someone if that is going to benefit you. And I've tried to consider the possibilities of how Ruto would benefit from Raila's death, and I want to say no. And then there is this one where Gachagua was also warning Raila, don't come close to Ruto. And some people are reviving that video to show that it has come to pass. Gachagua warned him. Can you take a look?
You call everybody, hata hii mzee yetu Tinga atamgonga. Hiyo mzee atamchanganya, wewe utaona. Na aliniambia hii mzee wachia mimi. Siku alikuwa anataka kwenda EU, nikamuuliza agenda yako na hii mzee ni gani? Anasema acha hii mzee nitapanga yeye. Hii mzee nitapanga yeye kidogo kidogo, peleke EU nini nichukue ODM, and I can see it is happening. So wewe bwana Tinga, you are listening to people who have experience with that man. Sababu wewe ni mzee wetu na uliumia, we want to give you a small tip. Huyo mtu achana naye.
But like I said earlier, you know, Gachagua was warning Raila, yet they had just fallen out. They were working together. When Raila contested, they were together. But again, that was his opinion, that Ruto told him, we are going to manage this guy. So the person who is reviving this video says, the management, whatever has happened, was part of the management. I do not think Gachagua meant that Ruto would kill Raila. Even if you ask Gachagua, even in the context of that video, Gachagua never meant that Ruto wanted to kill Raila. And I believe, in my own interpretation, people have said Uhuru Kenyatta managed Raila to the extent that every supporter of Raila knew we have the deep state and we're going to hand Uhuru is going to hand over the power to us. It didn't happen. So I believe that is how Gachagua was looking at it. That Raila is a man who has got a very fanatical following. They could revive demonstrations to an extent that the country is at a standstill. So managing him would mean that you bring him closer so that there is peace and tranquility in the nation, so that you go ahead and implement your agenda. And so those who want to tell us that, you know, maybe Gachagua had predicted that Ruto would kill Raila, no. Gachagua was talking of the management where you have Raila close and you're working together, that he does not have time even to go for demonstrations. But if you think I'm blowing things out of proportion, even today, the Gachagua-Ruto war was in Karen, because there's a group that was saying Ruto must go. Why would Ruto go when they've been working close with Raila, and the announcement that Raila is dead comes and then you start Ruto must go? The Ruto must go didn't end there, but there is this particular clique that felt it is Gachagua who sent, you know, those supporters to go and say Ruto must go. What is my point there? A video comes up, an old video where Oburu is warning William Ruto. That is, I think it was the height of demonstrations and policemen. There were some bullets that were targeted at Raila. They revived that some years when Raila is now this handshake, and then they revived that video of Rigathi Gachagua. Then that morning in Karen, people say Ruto must go. The people are saying Ruto must go honestly feel that Ruto has something. Why might you say he must go? And then there's another lot that feels no. How wametumwa? What is my whole point? I've just given you a sneak peek into what is likely to happen, because our politicians are dirty. They're always looking for a narrative. In politics, people's anxiety are managed by narratives. They draw a narrative. The NIS is good at it. They simply sit down, they understand the direction of thinking of a particular people, particular supporters, and they develop and drive a narrative to manage the people. And therefore, if you see people still say, Gachagua amewatuma, wengine wanafikiria, kwa nini Raila amekufa kwa hii, this handshake, and has survived the previous ones. That is what the NIS will look at. And they will drive this particular narrative in a particular manner. If you ask me, I don't think Ruto has anything to do with this. If you ask me, Gachagua has nothing to do with it. Let us maintain calm. But what is going to happen is that there is going to be a very heated political debate, because this is happening when we have just 20, we are in October, a few days to November, then that will be some two months. Then we are done with this year. Then we get to 2026. That is going to be a political year. And Nyanza is going to be, there's going to be scramble for Nyanza. In the absence of Raila, we've always analyzed this. That is going to be the opposition. Kalonzo will tell them, mkona deni yangu. Then these other politicians will say, Baba alikuwa na nia ya kusupport William Ruto. And that is going to set a very fierce political debate. And just wait and see. What has just happened is just a sneak peek into what is going to happen. You will see the Luo politicians say Gachagua wanted Raila to die, and therefore we can't go the opposition way. William Ruto is going to tell them, mimi tulikuwa na mpango na baba, just like the other day he said he had an opportunity to speak to Raila, to Uhuru, and to Gideon Moi. But the opposition will also say we only disagreed politically, but we were friends. So you can take it to the bank that things are not going to remain the same. In fact, as we speak, there are people who are really worried, because without Raila, their political mantle is gone.